What do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea! Oh! Oh! My God!
OJ Simpson kills those two people so hard, they stop making the Ford Bronco.
Missed that last cue by that much. Well, here we are. Let's get us. It's me. It's Chandler. We're here. It's another OJ Thursday, but on a Wednesday. We have to do it on. Well, good morning to you too. We have to do it on a Thursday normally because that's how the schedule works out. But today has got to be a Wednesday because tomorrow is the only time that Danny on Direct has to be a guest on the show. She will be the featured guest tomorrow. And then Friday will be Steph, the Alter Nerd. And that'll take us into the weekend. But before we get going with that, it's time for the Daily Cocktail. Today is a classic New Orleans Sazerac. If you want a classic taste in New Orleans, made by the maker of the Peychaud, I guess it is, bitters. This is it. Today's cocktail is the Sazerac. It's a little bit more involved, but it's delicious and the payoff is huge. You got to start with 10 milliliters. I guess it's about a quarter ounce of absinthe. You put it in a glass with ice and you swirl it around. You coat the entire inside of the glass with the absinthe and you let it get cold. And then in another glass, get about an ounce of cognac and 1 sugar cube. Muddle up the sugar cube and then put in just 2 splashes of bitters. And then you mix all that up all nice and neat. And then you throw the ice and the extra absinthe away. You pour it in there. You drop an ice chip on top and a lemon chip on top or a piece of lemon rind. And you have the most amazing Sazerac cocktail you could possibly want. And that's what we're drinking today.
I love a Sazerac. It's one of my favorite cocktails.
Because you got that. I mean, most people use bourbon now instead of cognac. That was sort of a thing that happened after the Civil War.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to having it with. I was like, I thought it was a whiskey cocktail.
Well, it used to be the French, so they would use the cognac. But then after the Civil War, cognac sort of became hard to get, so people started using bourbon. But yeah,
it's quite good with bourbon.
Nice winey, cognac kind of taste going on. And then right at the very end, all of that absinthe that was coating the inside of the glass just kind of gives that little minty burn for a finish. It's so amazing. But with that out of the way, we are up here on a little bit of a time frame. We've got our 2-hour show here. We both have a hard 2-hour exit point. So that's the best we can do today. Are we ready for some more funging around, folks?
I certainly am.
I was hoping we'd get to BARRY SCHECK again today for a recross, but it looks like we're not going to get to him until partway through next week. So what we're going to be doing today is continuing the slog that we had last week. It's like watching someone slowly die on stage. It's like watching a comedian bomb. It's like watching a troupe of actors who have all forgotten their lines. BARRY SCHECK just crushed Dennis Fung during cross-examination, about 5-day cross-examination. And now Hank Goldberg is trying so hard to rehabilitate him, but it's so impossible. He's spending incredible amounts of time on absolutely useless points that in no way rehabilitate Dennis Fung. And we're going to continue that today. So strap in, strap on, buckle up, do whatever it is you do to get your freak on. And we're just going to have to go into some more of the very, very slow, deliberate, non-lubed version of a redirect.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
Let's go, Brandon, bringing in the first $5 super chat, putting us $5 on our way to Doggo Cam. We didn't get Doggo Cam last week. We didn't get it last night either. We're falling behind on Doggo Cam. But anyway, he says, make me an El Presidente after this. You know I'm hunting the president down, or the presidential drink. Real absinthe in there. Yes, real absinthe, not the infused vodka stuff.
I like that you have real absinthe around. You have a really excellent liquor cabinet. You're really stocked up.
There's actually very few bars in this entire city of 5 million people that have a better bar than I do at home.
Well, then everybody should go to your place. You have the bar.
That's kind of what people do, yeah. with that out of the way, how's your morning tea in the Steph the Ultra Nerd cup?
Oh, it's excellent, and the mug is excellent. This is one of my favorite mugs. I've been using it exclusively, and I definitely need more tea. I think I'm going to have to get more like Dragon's Treasure tea soon.
You should.
I ran out. I drank all of my Dragon's Treasure tea. I have to get more.
Well, there you go. That's what we like to hear. Get it. And now he's selling coffee too. So thedragonstreasure.com for all your tea needs, and now you can pre-order coffee.
Fabulous. Well. I love that for him.
All right, and Max Mura bringing the 200 yen with the haro haro. Nice to meet Uncle Jeffu. Lady Friendo. Lady Friendo here. Or I'm sorry, you don't say Prudendo over there. You say Lady Fudendo. Yeah, all right. We have to get our Asian accents correct. Otherwise, people get angry.
You're good with your Korean, definitely. It's impressive.
And that was
you kind of have to be,
I
imagine.
Soulless Ginger says, I get to go to the DMV this morning.
Ooh,
entertain
fun.
me, Daddy Vices. Yeah, don't go to the DMV. Go to the MDV, the Me Daddy Vices. That's where we want. go to the Me Daddy Vices.
Nice
and one more super chat from one more. Let's go, Brandon. Another $5. Says field trip to Jeff's on me if he's letting us at the liquor cabinet. How many does your place sleep? Well, it depends if we want to stack them up or spread them out. Numbers may vary. And with that out of the way, we'll get on with the funging. We've got our daily like and subscribe poll set up, so make sure you get over there. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We got 106 of you here now. Those of you on replay, don't forget to do the same thing. Don't forget just to pop on down there and hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. You can also do super thanks, which are like super chats, but you're not here. And I will read those at the beginning of the next show if you ever decide to do that. The like and subscribe poll today. Like and subscribe because fung till daddy took the T-bird away, or girls just want to have fun, or wish it was Thursday because that's my fun day. And Shock the Funky, if maybe the Peter Gabriel Shock the Monkey reference was a little too vague, but
a little obscure, possibly.
Yeah, it was in the experimental phase of anyway.
Well, at least I got it.
You did. Well, congratulations on it, and I don't feel so bad. At least one person got the Shock the Monkey.
Oh yeah, my mom loves Peter Gabriel.
Oh, there you go. So I just spent the entire day watching Iggy Pop videos, from this year. Dude's old.
Yes, I love Iggy Pop.
He's like 76. He's still limping around on stage with his bum arthritic hip and just what little flesh he has sagging everywhere. It's kind of sad, but then you close your eyes and it's Iggy Pop again.
Oh, he's awesome. No, I saw him at the Greek in I think 2016, and he was epic. So he was on stage totally just in little red boxer shorts. He was awesome. I love Iggy Pop.
Little red boxer shorts. Nah. All right. With that out of the way, let's get down to funging business. Let's go all the way to Funky Town.
Let's do it.
Dennis, the Fungmeister.
Collecting a stain.
And we're just going to go back about 3 minutes from where we were last week, where they're collecting stains. I'm sure he had a few stains to collect after his time on the stand, but let's go.
Collecting a stain is not very difficult. The actual swatching of the stain is not very difficult at all.
All right. And is this something that, in your experience, detectives sometimes do?
Yes.
Is this something that a layperson could be trained to do?
And for those of you that are keeping notes at home, or not, I guess those of you keeping notes at home don't need me to tell you, but the reason they're talking about how easy it is to do these things, because if you'll recall, when he was on cross-examination and he was being questioned about who collected the evidence, I collected it, I did this, I did the swabs, I did all of this, when it actually turns out that his assistant, Mazzola, she was the one that was doing a great deal of this, sometimes when he wasn't even around to watch. So now they're trying to rehabilitate him by saying even a Mazzola can do it. It's so easy. So when he said that last week, which we all kind of thought was amusing, when I said I collected it, I just really meant we collected it because that's my habit of saying that. That was his excuse, and that's what they're pinning him down on here.
In a matter of minutes.
Have you seen crime scene technicians do this who are not criminalists?
Yes.
Now, when you testified at the grand jury about you swatching the stains, was that
stupid.
consistent with this habit that you've described to us?
This habit
Right.
of meaning
Why did you testify that
we
way,
when I
sir?
say I.
I was answering the questions as to what was happening, not who. I didn't think the topic was who did what.
So when they said who did it, you just thought, they weren't actually asking who did it.
Now, I'd like to ask you a couple questions on the subject of training and your training in the area of
Dennis has
collecting a
never
blood
pulled a
stain.
train.
Were you trained in how to collect a blood stain for the purposes of conventional serology as opposed to DNA analysis?
At the time I was trained, it was for conventional serological blood and
Stuff.
biological.
Was your first actual training in collecting a blood sample at the lab at LAPD, or was it in school or somewhere else?
The first training occurred in school, in my coursework.
Okay. Did they actually have you physically collecting stains at mock crime
wait.
scenes?
Sorry.
Or how did they do it?
There you go. Yeah.
I don't recall at this time whether we actually had to collect stains or not, but it was covered in the coursework.
Did you also have some more training in how to collect stains once you joined the lab?
Yes.
Now, after the advent of DNA, the use of DNA technology in criminal cases,
See, again, this is the thing that I think we need to keep in mind. He's literally talking about, this is right, what we're watching now is literally the time in history, the pre-DNA in trials to DNA in trials. This is right in the middle of that. This is sort of one of the first major cases to use DNA evidence. Brand new technology. It was so vague that, and so misunderstood or not understood that in the opening statements, Marcia Clark was explaining DNA by referring to the brand new movie that came out called Jurassic Park.
Right. This is before the CSI effect, when everybody, watched CSI and they started to understand the importance of DNA evidence. And then everybody started to rely on DNA evidence and their knowledge of it from watching TV shows.
Right. And while we're paused here, let's burn through. Not burn through. People don't like when I say burn through. I just mean go through. Like when he says I and really means we. When I say burn, I really mean go through slowly. It's a habit I've picked up. Wink, wink. Except for I'm serious. Righto. Marv White says, thank funging God it's Thursday, except it's only Wednesday. Sorry. Hate to break it to you. It's only Wednesday. We're a day ahead on OJ this week. Figured out. Oh, nope. It's Thursday to me. In 2023, we can make it what we want. All right. You identify as being in Thursday. I guess.
I mean, if you want it to be closer to the weekend, I could understand that, but you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Well, he identifies as being in Thursday, so who am I to say?
That's all right, Marv.
Let's go, Brandon. Anyone taking notes at home will walk the plank. Yeah, if you're taking notes on this. Yeah. And D What back in the house. What up, brother man? You've been a while, been a day or two. D What, release the hounds. You have moved us closer to hound dog time. We are 40 away. Awesome blossom.
Wow, everybody really wants Doggo Cam today.
I know.
I love it.
Didn't have the Doggo Cam last night, and nobody gave a shit.
And I didn't even have to get aggressive with people or anything.
I don't get aggressive with the super chats.
I aggressively grift whoever stream I'm on. I'm just like, donate, damn it, and then I have to relax a little bit.
Save it for yourself. You'll need it.
All right.
All righty. Let's get back to Mr. Blank 1,000-yard stare guy.
Let's do it.
did the physical mechanics of how you collect a stain change?
No.
All right. And when you said you received some additional training after the advent of DNA, what was the nature of this additional training?
The nature was describing to us how large a sample was needed to perform DNA testing. And that was back in the late 80s, around 88, 89.
So the training went mostly to sample size?
Yes.
Now, when you saw Andrea Mazzola collecting stains at the crime scene at Rockingham and Bundy, can you describe the manner in which she would collect them in terms of her technique?
Criminalist Mazzola was very deliberate in her collection. She was single-minded in her tasks, and she was...
I would object to this as being conclusory. If you want to ask him about specific stains that he observed.
They can ask Mazzola whether she was thorough and
Did she appear
conclusive.
to be concentrated on her task when she collected all the stains of Bundy?
That's sustained. It's leading.
Yeah, a little bit.
How did she appear when she was collecting the stains of Bundy in terms of the way that she was approaching her task?
How did she appear? Like magic.
Operations of someone else's mind. He can describe her conduct as he observed it.
She was very methodical.
Come on, Elaine,
And
you can
did
get the
she
questions
appear to
out.
be using or was she using the technique that is used in the Los Angeles Police Department for the purposes of collecting biological stains
Yes,
and doing it properly?
yes.
Now, going back to the Bundy location, you were asked about a videotape that depicted an item that was being passed between yourself and criminalist Mazzola.
Yes.
And have you had an opportunity to look at that videotape now several times?
Yes.
Perhaps we can see it's Defense Exhibit 1082, the clip of the tape.
Spit it out. Come on. Spit it out.
Bueller.
Sir,
Anybody?
if you look closely at that tape, do you appear to be holding a pen in one hand?
Well,
I've
Yes.
got a pen. I've got a corpse. Pineapple
About trying to
corpse.
get the counter number since that's part of our record.
Wait, not pineapple corpse. Pen corpse. I screwed that one up. Pineapple corpse is cool too.
All right, we're looking at the segment that's at 1334 approximately. Proceed.
Sir, and is that item the eyeglass envelope as was suggested by the defense?
in Criminalist Mazzola's hand right here?
Yes.
No, it's not.
And when I say the eyeglass envelope, I mean the eyeglass envelope without any packaging on it. Is that what you meant?
It's not the envelope itself, no.
Does the eyeglass envelope, if I may approach the witness, it's Peoples 32 for identification, have some blood stains on it?
Yes.
Well, and just real quickly, while he's walking up there, our lovely, absolutely wonderful, super amazing, beautiful Maud, Nicola Maxwell, has had surgery and she's recovering. Everybody send the amazing Nicola your best wishes and thoughts and prayers and all those other things you do for people that have just come out of surgery.
Oh, Nicola, I hope you recover very well. I hope you feel better soon. I'm so happy that you're here with us today. Thank you for joining us, even though you're
Enjoy the drugs.
post surgery. Yeah, enjoy the drugs. I hope you enjoy them
while they
a lot.
last.
Yeah. Feel better, Nicola.
All right, back to the regularly scheduled Funging show.
Yes, it does.
And do you
Hey,
see
Marms.
any blood stains on the item that's depicted in the defense exhibit 1082?
I can't make any out.
All right. When you recovered the eyeglass envelope, was it relatively crisp as the item in 1082, or did it look somewhat as it does now?
Description of crisp.
Exactly.
What did it look like when it was recovered from the crime scene?
Say crisp and I'll slap the shit out of you, Fung.
The envelope
I'm sorry, crisp?
appeared
Crisp?
pretty much the way it appears as it does now.
And it already had blood on it at the time that it was collected?
Yes.
Now, sir, in this particular
We love you.
photograph, are you wearing gloves?
No, I'm not.
Do you have any practice that you follow in terms of when you wear gloves and when you don't wear gloves?
Well,
at a
when I
crime
say
scene?
I wear gloves, I mean Mazzola
I
wears gloves.
personally wear gloves only when necessary, and that's when I am about to touch
Only when necessary? Are you kidding me?
an item of evidence, or
Oh, the good old days.
I'm going into a very, very
Kind of like the attorneys in the Murdoch case. I only wear gloves when necessary. I just touch everything. Leave my DNA
You
all
don't
over
wear
it.
gloves. Why don't you wear gloves 100% of the time when you're at the crime scene?
Good question. Why don't you?
For me, when I am not wearing gloves, it makes me that much more conscious not to touch things
Conscience?
for prints.
Oh, shut
And
up.
I tend to be very careful when I'm wearing gloves, or at least in the
Wait.
in my thought process, when I'm wearing gloves, I would be more likely to touch something meat because
Wait, I'm sorry.
I would think
What?
that the gloves will protect
He's saying
the item
it-
from prints.
He doesn't wear gloves so that he cannot touch things? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, pretty much. When I'm not wearing gloves, it reminds me to be more careful about touching things.
That
But when
makes
I wear
no
gloves, I
sense.
just touch shit everywhere and don't leave fingerprints because I'm wearing gloves.
Oh god, he's spiraling. He's making no sense. I mean, he's like, oh, well, when I say I mean we. I like to wear gloves on other people's hands when other people are doing, work for me. And then,
Yeah.
seriously, dude? I don't believe it or not. Wait, I don't believe it at all. Oh god, I need more
yeah.
tea. I need to
Well,
get
while
more
we're
tea.
doing that, we've got Let's Go. Brandon says, burn through me like a wildfire hunting down California liberals. We need to see the dogs. Oh, they're on their way. Criminalist Mazzola. I can't believe she's not butter. Nice. That's a good one. I like that one. That was good. And Let's Go. Brandon says, we are less than $40 to dog cam, you crook. No, we're there. We were there because Uncivil Law, who said, hello, Vice's fam, getting prepped for another stream and wanted to say hello. I hope you all are having a Vice-filled day. We are. I'm just polishing off the remains of a Sazerac here before I get into the single malts. Cheers to you, Uncivil Law, who has also demanded stop in the name of love, dog cam or riot. Well, in that case, thank you so much, Kurt, for kicking us over the edge for the stunningly generous donation as we await the return of Chandler Remington. Let's annoy the dogs. All right, where have the beasts gone? All right, just set up doggo cam here. Add them to the stream. Put them down there. I said, put them down there. Why aren't you going down there? Here we go. And well, there's nobody there. Rotate. What's up? Courtesy of Kurt Uncivil Law and all the other people who have got us over the hump of the dog threshold. It's Doggo Cam. All right, let's see. We'll just have to wait for Yoda to stop being Yoda. All right, there we go. What's up, pigs? You got little pig dogs.
Sorry, I had to refill my tea.
Well, that's okay. We're just staring at the pig dogs. Here we go.
Oh, Doggo Cam is up.
We are, because Uncivil Law Kurt, he put us over the edge with a very generous super chat and demanded dogs or riot. So we chose dogs. Always choose dogs or riot.
Well, thanks. That was Kurt. Thank you, Kurt.
Next up, Dargy Yoda, we're going to the White House. It's going to be insurrection time because everybody chooses dogs. All right, let's go.
Now, in arriving at that conclusion as to when gloves should and should not be worn at a crime scene,
I'm sorry,
as a criminalist,
I want to hear that shit again. That was just dumb.
That was really funny. Made no sense.
Yeah, let's go back like 2 minutes so we can hear him try to again explain in rational terms that normal people could understand why he wears gloves that make him want to touch everything, and how not wearing gloves makes him more careful about touching things.
For prints, and I tend to be very.
All right, here we go.
Bloody scene.
You don't wear
Portion of the
gloves.
scene.
Why don't you wear gloves 100% of the time when you're at the crime scene?
For me, when I am not wearing gloves, it makes me that much more conscious not to touch things for prints.
Sure, dude.
And I tend to be very careful when I'm wearing gloves, or at least when I'm in my thought process, when I'm wearing gloves, I would be more likely to touch something because I would think that the gloves would protect the item from prints.
Now,
if gloves make you more articulate, I suggest you put them on right now.
Gloves should and should not be worn at a crime scene as a criminalist. Did you consider the opinion of Barry Fisher on that issue?
Yes.
And that was the same text that was cited from earlier during cross-examination?
Yes.
I'd like to cite from page 21 of Mr. Fisher's text that's the third edition. Maybe I can approach the witness.
Well, sure, that's Mr. Sheck.
I think he has. There's a similar quote in the edition to it.
Morning, David.
It wears the gloves or it gets touched again.
Or not touched again.
If he wears the gloves, that makes him touch things more. Yeah.
Third edition.
Yeah, forget us. I mean.
Yeah. Ooh, all that absinthe is coagulating at the bottom.
So you've already looked at Mr. Fisher's
Well, you know what they say.
Quotation as to the wearing of gloves. Is that
Absinthe
correct?
makes the heart grow fonder.
And does Mr. Fisher say the wearing of gloves should not be permitted on the crime scene? There's always
Chandler
a risk
can no
that
longer
the
be
wearer
with
will
us.
become careless and
Bad
touch
joke.
objects that bear the criminal's fingerprints, thereby destroying
Thank you
or
very
wiping them
much.
out. Is that his view?
That's
all right. Back to.
And is
Ooh,
that your
we're
reason
talking
for
over
not
Hank
wearing them
Goldberg.
100%
Oh my
of the
God.
time?
Oh, we have to hear what Hank has to say.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to tell bad dad jokes anytime I want, damn it. You can remove me if you want, but
As a people's
freedom of speech, 1A, baby.
All right, people's next in order would be defendants 190, excuse me, people's 190.
And while
that's
he's
page 21.
Well, they're working on that.
Third edition.
As you can all tell, Chandler has a new microphone,
Third edition.
which is very,
Yes,
very
Your Honor.
sensitive, and you don't have to shout anymore.
Oh, sorry. I'll turn myself down a little.
Now, sir, is
It's a very nice
blood at a
microphone.
crime scene
Well, thank you.
considered to be a contaminant with respect to the health of the criminalist?
with respect to the health of the criminals, yes.
Why is that?
The blood could have infectious diseases in it. And it could be transmitted to the criminals.
Would you touch an item that had visible blood on it, sir, with your bare hands at a crime scene?
I would try very hard not to.
Weren't you listening? He doesn't wear gloves,
And
so he
would
doesn't
criminals
touch
Mazzola
those
have
things.
handed you an item that had blood on it?
No.
Sustained. The answer is stricken. Jury to disregard. Rephrase the question.
Now, sir, under the practices of the crime lab and using the standard procedures that you use at a scene, would a criminalist at the Los Angeles Police Department hand to another criminalist an item with someone's blood on it?
Oh,
They're whispering to each other.
Now, sir, directing your attention back to the exhibit, the eyeglasses in front of you. What is the brown paper bag that's contained in that exhibit?
The brown paper bag is what the white envelope was packaged into.
In looking at the brown paper bag, were you able to see what type of a bag that was?
It was a number 4 size bag.
And the Los Angeles Police Department has various assortments of bags.
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to mark as people's next exhibit what appears to be it's a Townsend number 4 brown paper bag.
Yes. You may.
Some kind of a latex fetish, maybe. Would you touch my item?
What we just marked, I think it's 192, Your Honor.
191.
191. I'll write
Number 4 bag.
I'll write a 191 on the rear.
Now that would be funny. Fun story, I got hit in the face with a tortilla once at Rocky Horror Picture Show.
This is a brown paper bag, size number 4.
And is that the same type of bag into which the eyeglasses were placed?
Yes.
Is that consistent? If we can see defense.
You are muted.
1082 again.
Muted.
So it's lying flat because that's the old school version of a flat screen monitor for the witnesses to see the evidence.
I'm objecting on the grounds that I take it this is being offered as
It's a foundational objection?
yes, exemplary evidence, and I think that the actual exhibit is there.
I'm not kink shaming, I'm just kink asking why.
Thank you.
We call that kink curious. I will. There we go. There you all happy now? It's been so long since we've had dog cam, I forgot to take down the banner.
Objection to rule.
But Let's Go Brandon reminded me. Thank you, sir.
If I could just have a couple more questions before the noon recess, it won't take that long.
2.
Okay. Sir, is the item that's depicted in Defense 1082 consistent with the item that we've just marked, the paper bag, the Townsend number 4?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. I think we can wrap it up now, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our recess for the morning session. Please remember all of my admonitions to you. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Do not conduct any deliberations till the matter has been submitted to you. Do not allow anybody to communicate with you with regard to the case. We'll stand in recess until 1 o'clock. All right, let me see counsel at the sidebar with the court reporter. You're reminded, sir, you are still on.
All right, they finished their morning break. Patty Leather says sexual deviants go to hell, says Patty Leather. And Let's Go Brandon, thank you so much for the dog cam thing. We've got that out of the way. And also Let's Go Brandon said, would you slam 5 shots of absinthe? Not in a million years, so we can watch you trip on stream. What's the Thujon count of what you I don't know, it's in the other room. It's quite high though. It's fairly good. It's from Czechoslovakia. It's good.
The Thujon count, now that's something I've never heard of. What is that?
It's the concentration of grand wormwood, which mugwort, which is in the absinthe, which is what contributes to the alleged hallucinogenic high.
Quality. Is that like LSD sort of?
No, it's mugwort.
Mugwort.
It's a weed. Koreans make a lot of soup out of it, but it does induce dreams. The Koreans have it a lot, and Koreans are very, very dream oriented. It grows in the States. Native Americans will eat a lot of mugwort traditionally, and they're a very dream-centric culture. It has been shown to promote dreams, lucid dreams, and other potentially meaningful dreams. But anyway, it's quite high. And when is the next F-It Friday? Most likely the second week of June. Most likely the second week of June. To be announced. And then the second week of July will be the birthday F-It Friday stream. So
Awesome. That'll be fun.
And J.A. with a $20 super chat. Hi, LV and CR. I just got back from the Land of John Hughes movies for work. Chicago?
I guess. I'm guessing Chicago. Yeah, Chicago makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's say Chicago.
And completed another orbit around the sun. Birthday. Happy birthday. Great job with your stream, CR, the other day. Well,
thank you. The end was hilarious, and I totally boomered that, and I'm very proud of it because I gave the people what they wanted. They wanted a good laugh, so I'm always here to deliver.
And some dollars for LV, some CR, OJ textbook jury nullification. Continue watching. Let's see. Or is it just a complete, prosecution and LAPD screw up? That's my theory. Let's go. Brandon says, oh, so if it's only allegedly makes you trip, I don't see the impediment here. The impediment lies in the fact that it's 70% alcohol. That's the impediment.
I could see that.
That's the impediment. 70% alcohol. All righty. There you go. Now let's see how long he keeps this smile on his face. Like I said, we're probably not going to get to recross today with Barry, but there's a good chance right towards the end we might get some Johnny Cochran. So everybody likes a little Cochran.
Ooh, I don't think we've had any Cochran yet. Looking forward to that.
You may continue with your redirect examination.
Yeah.
You can have a little Johnny Cochran as a treat.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Fung, when we left off, we were talking about defense tape 1082 that shows Andrea Mazzola passing an item to you.
Passing a kidney stone.
Now, do you have an independent recollection of
that would be
that
painful.
incident?
No.
All right. And when you looked at the tape 1082, does it appear to you that the item is a bag that contains something or does not contain something?
Don't you talk about my wife like that.
The object does not appear to have any bulk to it. It appears to be a flat object.
Hey, don't talk about me like that.
Are you certain, based upon your practice at a crime scene, that you would not have taken the envelope had it not been in a package, had it simply been in the condition that you saw it in court with the blood stains? With your bare hands.
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Sir, would you have done that? Would you have taken that eyeglass envelope with your bare hands?
Objection.
Oh, he totally would have. He would have touched everything, gotten his DNA all over it.
Your customary practice at crime scenes, would you have grabbed that item, the eyeglass envelope, with your bare hands?
No.
And are you certain of that?
Absolutely.
Now, at one point you testified that you believed that the coroners had left the location at the time that was depicted in that scene on that defense tape. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What made you think that the coroners had left?
In my experience, coroners personnel leave very soon after moving the bodies and placing them in their vans. And I do not recall having seen any coroner's personnel after I had seen them put the bodies in the vans that day. I just didn't recall seeing them.
And why that's important is he swore nothing was touched and that there were no coroner personnel anywhere near the crime scene while they were collecting evidence. And then cue BARRY SCHECK showing videos of coroner's office people traipsing through the crime scene without protective footwear on. So now he's explaining, well, I just didn't remember.
Sure you didn't, Fung.
Had you waited to commence your collection process until after the bodies had...
Okay, and to be fair, this was a whole big line of questioning that BARRY SCHECK was talking about, because he was saying, did you put these glasses, Ron, I guess was what's her face, is Nicole, what's her face? How disrespectful. Nicole Brown Simpson's eyeglasses into an envelope without wearing gloves? No. But, and that led to this whole big thing where how he didn't touch anything. There couldn't have been any coroner personnel there because they weren't around when they were doing this with the evidence, and then they showed it, and here we are.
Then removed from the location.
No touching.
Yes.
And by that I mean put in the van.
Yes.
All right. And based upon your experience in processing crime scenes, can you think of any reason why the coroner would remain, the coroner's representatives would remain?
Sustained cause for speculation.
Well, it also goes to his state of mind. You're all
What?
At the crime scenes that you've been in the past, are there reasons, are there things that the coroners have to do at the crime scene?
Touch the body.
After they take the bodies and put them in the coroner's vehicle?
God.
Sometimes they have to get information
They get
from
to.
the detective, but
It's a privilege.
I haven't seen that happen very often.
Okay, so you've processed about 500 crime scenes, you said?
Yes.
And in your experience, does the coroner almost always leave as soon as the bodies are in the vehicle?
Very soon after, yes.
So it wouldn't have been
Now,
unusual
were you
they were
paying
still
attention
there in this case?
when you were involved in the collection process, and by that I'm including numbering and measuring the various items, were you paying attention to activities that other people were engaged in around you?
No, I was concerned with doing my job.
When you were involved in the collection process, were you trying to keep track of where the coroner's representatives were, or if they were even there?
No.
To this day, do you have any independent recollection of them being there?
No independent recollection, no.
And do you have any reason to believe that they were there other than the one clip of videotape that you saw with what appears to be the pant leg of one of the coroner's representatives in it?
No, only the videotape shows that they're there.
Okay. Now, during the early portion of the collection process, did you say that you brought the glove that had been collected at the Rockingham location in its bag into the caged off area?
Yes.
And for what purpose did you do that?
Detective Lang had requested to see the Rockingham glove.
Do you recall from your own independent recollection whether or not you opened the bag for sure or not?
I don't recall if I opened the bag or not.
Have you ever had any conversation with Detective Lang about that incident to your recollection? I mean, after it happened.
Yes, we have talked about it, but I don't recall exactly what we discussed.
Do you know or happen to remember whether Detective Lang said that the bag was closed at the time?
Objection. Sustained.
I get the sense he's trying to remember his lies, Yeah. Like, what did I say in my deposition again? I can't keep track.
Now, if we were to assume hypothetically that you brought the bag into the caged off area and opened it, what kind of danger, if any, would be posed in terms of contamination of the evidence?
Just by merely opening the bag?
Yes.
Something from me, like my hair or something, could fall into the bag.
What about cross-contamination with the crime scene? I'm talking about that.
See, this goes beyond cross-contamination of a crime scene, where one piece of evidence from a crime scene contaminates another piece of evidence from the same crime scene. This is potentially cross-contamination of completely separate crime scenes.
Oh God, that's not good.
Bringing the glove from one place to the other place and then opening it up. Not the greatest thing. But again, while you're listening to what a really horrific, horrible job that criminologist Dennis Fung did, remember that this testimony led to sweeping changes in evidence collection in police departments throughout the entire country. So some good may have come out of it.
As a danger.
1 second.
As long as I left
Grabbing my
the
charger.
glove in the bag and was very careful opening the bag, I wouldn't see any real possibility of any cross-contamination.
At the time that you brought that glove to the location that we've described as this caged off area, did you believe that there was some legitimate investigatory reason for doing so?
Yes.
What was that?
Did Detective Lang tell you what it was?
Ask
We
Detective
can say
Lang.
yes or no without saying what was said.
He did give some indication as to why he wanted it there, yes.
Well, that was my next question, and it's not being introduced for the truth of the matter asserted, but the effect on this witness's state of
Oh,
mind.
please. That line again.
I tried to elicit this.
What?
I tried to elicit this once and he objected.
Burn. Burn.
Sustained.
But without telling us what he said, he did give you an explanation.
A limited one,
Barry
yes.
smiling.
Right.
Gotcha, bitch.
But I think we've been over this already.
Well, not on
Oh, wait,
redirect.
I have that. There we go.
No, the jury, I think, is clear already as to why that was done.
Okay, it's time to do our Peter Neufeld
Now, at any
invasion of the
time that
body
you were at the
snatchers.
location, did you ever see anyone shaking that blanket around? The one that was in contact with Nicole at one point?
It's a fan favorite.
No,
And was there a lot of wind at the location when you were doing your evidence collection?
it wasn't. There was some wind, but it wasn't a windy day.
I mean, was it windy enough at the time that you had that bag that it was picking things up and hairs and other items were flying through the air?
No.
When you first saw the Rockingham glove at the Rockingham location, did you notice any hair on it at that time?
Oh, please.
At
At
the
Rockingham,
Rockingham,
yes.
Rockingham glove. I believe I did see some forms of either fibers or hair at that time.
Oh, please.
And did you do anything to remove it at that time?
No.
Just use Nair.
Now, you were also asked some questions
Nair?
regarding a videotape
Silky smooth.
showing Miss Mazzola collecting some items at the
Fun,
crime
wear
scene.
short
Do you remember
shorts.
that? The glove and the cap, the
Yes.
glove and the cap. Perhaps we could take a look at that. It's 1083.
Goldberg is unbearable, but the cultural references and pop culture stuff makes it a little bit better, at least. By the way, Strawberry looks so comfy on that chair. I love it.
Yeah, that used to be my veranda, drinking morning coffee and having a morning cigar chair.
And now the dog has commandeered it. Yeah,
It's no longer my chair,
it's Strawberry's chair. Strawberry has totally taken over that chair.
pretty much.
Happy doggo.
Did you see the first portion of that?
Thank you. I'm deaf now.
Did I cough too loud?
For my ears, yes.
Oh, sorry. I usually try to mute myself.
Maybe we can stop for a second.
Your new
Can we
microphone
just
is really
back
good.
up for just
Okay,
a
good.
few frames. Yeah, there. Now, Mr. Fung, what is Miss Mazzola doing in this frame?
A magic trick.
Miss Mazzola is placing the knit cap in a paper bag.
And then she pulls
does
a
it-
rabbit out.
It's 1351-41-12.
Yeah. Does it appear to you that she's holding it from a corner of the cap without getting her much of her hand on the item?
She's holding it at the tip, yes.
And why is that done?
Because it feels better at the tip.
Just the tip.
She's holding it so that she comes into a very small area of contact.
And then she simply places it in the bag.
Yes.
And is it generally necessary
puts
to
the
go
cat in
through
the
4
bag or
years
he
of
gets
forensic
funged
science
again.
training to learn this technique?
No.
All right, let's continue with the tape.
While they're watching that, Kurt wants to know what microphone you bought.
Oh, wait, I think it's a blue Yeti Snowball microphone. It was on sale at Target, and it's excellent. And
is it blue?
It's not blue, it's black, but it says blue on the front. And chat, let me know if my microphone is too loud. I will turn myself down. I don't want to be yelling in anybody's ear.
Yes, just don't yell like you normally do.
Okay.
You didn't have a great microphone like now.
I know.
Yeah,
I normally yell. I'm
just before
sorry.
she dropped it in the bag.
I have a bad habit.
And similarly, how is Miss Mazzola handling the glove in this particular frame? She's 13, 52, 23, and I can't read the last two. Is it 25?
She's holding a very small portion of the glove and
How
placing
can you
it
see
into the paper bag.
And that's done for the same reason?
Yes.
And is it again necessary to have 4 years of forensic science training to figure this technique out?
No.
All right. Now, when she was lifting up this item, based upon your recollections of the crime scene itself, which area is she removing the glove from?
Based on my recollection, she's removing it from the dirt area.
And is that where the glove was when you first saw it?
Yes.
All right, we can continue with this and just finish it.
Oh, that was good. At least she's wearing gloves. Congratulations for that. I guess.
Somebody has to in this
Fine. Thank you.
absolutely degenerate department. I hope I sound better, a little less loud. I'm
Yes,
sorry, I didn't know.
This trial did change
have
evidence
an
collection
opportunity
procedures
to take
everywhere.
a careful look at the defense video that depicts what appears to be a dark spot in the area of the white blanket that was on the ground.
Characterization. Sustained face question.
That appears to be some sort of a dark area on the
Still objection. Characterization.
what?
Describe
Yes,
what the
right.
blanket looked like.
And did you also have the opportunity to view a tape that was created by the people showing that same footage and intersplicing still photography?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this, I don't know if we've already marked that. We as a court exhibit.
I don't believe so.
Oof.
I'd like to mark that exhibit as our next in order.
Every time I look at this man, I go back and forth between
Equals
you
192.
poor soul and I'm really enjoying watching him get creamed.
Yeah. But it's still,
Like, it's hard to not feel bad for him. But go on.
and it's something we've said every stream.
look at it
It's
yourself.
amazing how courtroom camera and microphone technology was way better 28 years ago than it is in any courtroom today.
Yeah, that's true. We have such terrible audio problems with court
Yeah,
TV,
review that again. All right, proceed.
especially when they don't
Thank
talk
you,
into the mic. That's a problem I
One
don't
day,
have.
one day courtrooms will discover, body cams. I mean, like body
Please see.
microphones, lapel
It's
microphones,
192.
FM microphones.
That would be nice. Especially for streaming purposes.
Conan O'Brien considers his next joke.
It's a shame he's not funny. And Goldberg isn't either, unfortunately.
He was very funny in Toy Story. We're talking about Goldberg, not Conan O'Brien. Goldberg is not funny. So here we're showing stuff. The same stuff. And now hopefully an explanation of, there's OJ raising his eyebrows to the camera going, what's that all about?
His facial expressions throughout the trial are kind of mystifying.
Now, sir, based upon the photographs, the still photography, and the videography that was done at the crime scene as displayed in this exhibit, and your own independent recollections, was that glove on the white blanket?
Object to the form of this question. If he's being asked a question as an independent witness, I think there's no foundation laid for his competency with respect to photography. He's being asked about his independent recollection. I have no objection. So I think the question is compound. I think I'm stating 80 grams.
What?
Rephrase the question.
Sir, based upon viewing the videotapes, was the glove, the ones that we just showed, was the glove on the white blanket?
Based on the video tape and the pictures, and not from my memory, just from the videotapes, it did not appear to be on a blanket.
Now move to strike. Roll.
Okay, and now if you add your memory to the equation, was it
Add
on
your
the blanket?
memory.
No.
Add your memory? What kind of, that's a, really?
Yeah.
I just want to see a portion of this again, where he's laying down the cards at the beginning.
Please.
Hey, now, sir, what are you doing right there in that picture? We don't have a frame number, but
I am placing the identification tag for the hat on the walkway area.
He's obviously
Okay, so
doing the
that's
most
for the
he's
hat?
putting his right hand
Yes.
in.
What
take
photo
his right hand
ID
out,
number is on the card that's in your hand on this photograph?
turn himself around.
If he's asking, is that question directed to what he can read on the video?
No, it's not.
Lack of
directed to what he
foundation. We
reads.
need to
It's from
establish the
your
fact that he
independent
can
recollection.
read.
Can you tell, and your notes, can you tell us?
Referring to his notes.
What, yes, from your notes, can you tell us that, sir?
From my notes, referring to my notes, that would be 103.
Okay, and that's the photo ID number for what?
That would be the photo ID for the hat in item number 38.
Okay, now, where are you placing this card down? Is it on, where does it actually land?
Land?
It's very close to the yellow post on the walkway area.
Your Honor, perhaps for the record, I could just describe this photograph since we don't have
Since Dennis
a
Fung
counter on
can't
it. It's a
describe
photograph
it.
that,
Now, again, remember, this is redirect. He was crushed on cross-examination. And all of this is supposed to make this devastating cross-examination make sense. He's supposed to be rehabilitating his witness so that we go, oh, never mind, that cross-examination was nothing. I don't see how any of this achieves that at all.
No, it
I don't know
doesn't.
what he's talking about in any of this.
Well, do you ever watch a trial and you see an attorney get up there and they're doing some part of, they're doing like the cross, or they're doing, the closing statements, and you just wish that it was the other attorney who was doing it instead, because you know that this attorney is just like subpar in comparison to somebody else on the team. That's how I feel. I'm just like, I wish that Darden had done this, or, this is a really important, and with this redirect, like anybody would have been better. This guy's awful. He's not achieving anything at all. You're absolutely right. It's just painful to watch. So I'm like, oh God, we're not getting back to SHECK today. We're doing Goldberg. Jesus, Goldberg.
Yeah, but I promise we'll have Barry Scheck back next week. We'll get that far.
Well, we're
if
getting
we're lucky,
through it
we'll have a
together.
little bit of Cochran today. Yeah.
Thankfully. Well,
let's go,
everybody here
Brandon.
is getting through it with us.
Yeah, and the fact we still have people here is awesome. I do not take for granted the fact there's 216 people here on this ridiculously dull testimony.
Well, they're all here for the dogs, obviously.
Probably. Yeah, let's go. Brandon says, yes, that we're talking about the absinthe. Yes, that's why you have to tank them quickly so you get the trip instead of just getting hammered like a $2, what is she called again? Oh, my song, my friend Harry Harpoon, amazing Falcon blues singer. He has a song called $2 Whore that's actually really funny. One of these days, if I consume enough, I'll have to sing it. And Nicholas, star of Trial, watches how many of his previous 500 crime scenes did he fork up and send hundreds of not guilty people to prison? Or how many guilty people went free because he was a dork?
Can we just take a moment to say hi to Nicholas?
Hi, Nicholas. Daily Quick Buy says, it's not unusual to be gloved by anyone. Nice Tom Jones blast there. That was good. I saw it.
Oh, you're okay with that dad joke, but not my absinthe makes the heart grow fonder. Nice, Jeff.
Yeah,
I like
Jones.
That one. Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Not unusual to be gloved by anyone.
All right, I'll concede there's a better one.
Why, Miss Zola?
Damn it, I'm crackling again. Ugh.
You are a little bit. Ron thought the returning the glasses to the lovely divorcee might mean a happy ending. Instead, we need to do it CSI Miami style. Ron thought returning the glasses to the lovely divorcee may lead to a happy ending. Instead, he just got an ending.
Dark. Sad.
Yeah. You need to
he was doing such a nice thing. He was like, "Oh, you left
David
her mother's glasses."
Eyeglass CSI Miami removal meme thing.
I'm not familiar with that one.
What? You never watched CSI Miami with David?
I know CSI Miami. I don't think I saw that.
Well, that was the big thing. He'd always deliver the punchline at the end, but give you the little extra without the sunglasses. It was a thing. He did like literally every episode. It became a thing.
Oh, I'm sure if I watched it, I'd be refamiliarized. It's been a while since I've watched CSI Miami.
Tweety US News says nobody had body cameras in the 1990s. Well, given the fact that any camera was about this big, no.
Yeah, Axon came out. I think the Axon protocol happened in, I want to say late 2000, like 2009, something like that. Maybe 2012. I'll have to look into that. In terms of sweeping, Don't quote me on it.
And we are halfway through the stream today, so it's time to do the midstream grift. Those of you that are still watching for some reason on the replay, please make sure you have hit the like and subscribe buttons as well. Those of you here now, please also do the same. I would be deeply, deeply happy if you'd hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed, and if you're not, you really should be, so please do it. And while you're at it, go over to Chandler Remington stream. Remy _ legal. And subscribe to her. She's doing live streams now. She's in the live streaming business.
I am. I have a new video up on Sarah Boone. My audio is terrible, so you can watch it or not watch it. I don't care. I have a great stream that I just did the other day with Solomon Anderson, and if you missed that, you should totally watch it. MLS Law was on, and we talked about the Duluth model, which was awesome. And I'm doing a live stream today with David Helm at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time about Sarah Boone. We're going to watch the Sarah Boone Axon body cam footage, so come to my channel for that and like and subscribe, etc., etc.
Cool. And once you have done that, make sure you hit the like and subscribe poll. Vote. Where are we now? You hit the like and subscribe because 17% of you said shock the funky, and 21% of you said wish it was Thursday because that's my fun day. Yeah. I don't have to run day. And the 25% of you said girls just want to have fun. And 37% of you said fung till the daddy took the T-bird away. That's leading the
I
poll.
think that's how I voted.
All right.
That's a good one.
Alrighty. With that, let's watch the second half of our show today. And go.
Appears to depict the.
Maybe we could just print it out. I think that's the best way to do it rather than
That's
having
fine.
this.
I agree. Thank you.
Chandler, is your mic a wireless mic or is it wired?
It's wired.
Kind of like rotate the connections because it kind of seems like it's a little bit loosey or wiggly or shorty. So that might solve the crackling problem. Flux in the house. Paul had way too many last century references that I missed. They're all from the 1980s, I think, every single one of them.
All right, proceed.
Yep.
Okay, so now I would
Oh, except
like
for the
to
Beach
show-
Boys. That was
well,
before the 80s.
When you're putting this card down, the one that we've just, on the picture that we just printed out, where is that in relationship to the darkened area that's in question?
That would be west of the darkened area.
Which is towards
the street or towards the camera.
Towards the camera, okay. All right, that's fine. Sir, I'd now like to show you a couple still photographs. First, let's look at People's 56H for identification.
Ooh, listen to that computer printer printing out.
What does that show, sir?
That depicts the
Sounds of the 90s.
glove and the photo ID card number 102.
This is 56H. And is that where you put down the card for the glove?
Yes.
All right, now let's take a look
So
at People's 192A. Okay, I'd like to mark as People's next in order 193, which is also a photograph of this same general area.
It's like some Arby's sauce there. Like some horsey sauce going on.
Enchilada sauce.
Apparently it's going to take a second to pull this up.
Please.
Isn't that 56?
Oh, I like when he's not touching. Keep your arms crossed because when his arms aren't crossed, he's just like doing this with the microphone the whole time. Hey, Dominic Dunn back there. We haven't seen Dominic for a few weeks.
Oh, so it is. I know he made friends with the Goldman family during the trial.
Yes, he did.
They unfortunately had some very unpleasant things in common.
Is this okay? And what is that?
It's the same.
He just looks inept all the time. He just looks perpetually like, how did I get here?
This is a similar photograph to 56H, sir.
Yes.
This isn't
The
the
one that we
late
saw
show.
just before this.
Yes.
And what is it that's in the foreground just before the card 102?
There appears to be
Ketchup.
a bloody area with leaves present.
Okay, now let's see People's
That looks fake.
179. Now, sir, do you see that same leafy area that we just saw in photograph 193 in this photograph 179?
Yes.
And where is that?
If you look at the identification card 102 and you go down from it, it's that area there.
Okay.
Before, oh, go ahead.
Okay, fine. Now, on this particular photograph, is the card that you were laying down in the video present?
No.
So this was taken before you laid that card down?
Yes.
And do you know when, in reference to laying the card down, the still photography was done of this area?
The photographer was taking the photographs as I was putting the cards down.
And could you see that in one of the videos?
Yes.
I just need one more photograph.
Oh my God, move it along. Jeebus.
Perhaps we could, for the record, just have him circle the area that he's referring to, the leafy area.
Circle your area, Fung.
Yes.
Point to the area where the bad lawyer touched you.
Yes, this was 1995. I was in my second year of law school.
And I was in my second year of life on Earth.
Are we having point maker problems here?
Yes, Your Honor,
Good
we were able
Talking
to
Head
achieve
song.
a black color, but no other. If you notice the dot.
Same as it ever was.
Are you having maneuvering problems here?
Can we put an arrow on it instead?
Yes.
Yes.
Very dark.
God, he is
You
so
making up arrow?
slow.
That would be better.
I wish we could speed this up. It's so annoying with
Seriously.
Court TV. It doesn't
Okay,
have the speed up option.
More to your left. Up.
You just have to suffer through
More.
it really
More
slowly.
there.
Lefty Lull says Chandler Simpson chat, but not to me, so it doesn't count.
What?
She can only simp for me. I don't know. Say something for Christ's sake.
Jesus.
Proceed.
Okay. Now, can we now
Leave
see
the goddamn
People's
podium
180 for
alone, too.
identification? Oh, hold on. I just want to ask one more question.
Really
while
leaning on that
179 's
podium.
here. On 179, when would this be chronologically with respect to the video?
This would be before the segment of the video was.
Okay, and you know that why?
I know that because the card
My brain is up here. Thank you.
for 103 is not placed down yet.
And that's what you were doing in the video?
Yes.
And now can we see People's 180 for identification?
This is not blood, YouTube. This is just like Arby's sauce.
Has anybody noticed how amazing Jeff's
the
mustache
barcodes
looks
aren't
today? No, I mean really, it's on point. Your mustache game is excellent.
Why, thank you.
Jeff Simps, please show yourselves.
Oh my God, I'm gonna climb through my monitor and punch him in the neck for just doing this on the podium all day.
He has such a weak jaw.
That's why I had to punch him in the
direct your
neck. He
attention,
doesn't have
sir,
a
to
jaw.
People's 180.
Doesn't really have a jaw at all.
Do you see the card number 10? Well, could see it a few seconds ago. Okay. Do you see the card for number 103?
Free right here.
Yes.
And where is that?
There's 3 cards present, and
3-card Monty.
it's the one to the very right.
And the leafy clump, is that still in the same location that it was in the previous photograph?
I want to start a
179?
punk band called Leafy
Yes.
Clump
And the
now.
glove.
That's a,
Yes.
I'm always thinking of
So
band
this
names.
would
That's
represent
a
a
good one.
photo that was taken.
I just wanted to insult
shortly
him. You are a
after the
leafy clump.
videotape.
Damn it.
Sustain.
When was this photograph taken, sir?
This would be after the videotape was taken.
All right. So if we could just skip, can we skip back between 179 and 180, or is that
Can we
too
skip
much?
ahead to Johnny Cochran? I'm bored.
Okay, so 179 is
All right, we're going
before
somewhere.
Mr. Fung.
Yes.
And now let's skip back to
Where?
180.
I'm just hopeful.
And 180 is
I hope
after.
so too.
Yes.
And the glove is in the same location in both photos.
Yes.
No,
And so is the
Leafy
Leafy
Clump is
Clump.
the punk band. Loin
Yes.
Fire is my Viking death metal band.
Yeah. Better for Viking death metal. I agree.
Thank you. Now, when you got to the location at Bundy, did you know exactly what had happened in terms of any alteration of the location before you arrived?
No.
I actually like that. Microaggression walrus.
And when you filled out the crime scene
Ooh.
identification checklist
That's pretty
form,
good.
I like that. That's good.
that's defense 1081. If I might approach the witness for just one moment and I put it on the.
Unless it's clear
Hold
that
on. What's the ground?
ground is that he's asking,
Legal
He said-
ground there.
Grounds.
legal grounds is that the question is vague. He
Grounds.
said you. Is he using that in the singular or the
Sustain.
plural?
Rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
May I
seeing as how
proceed
we've
to show
established that
you
when he
guys
says
your
I,
identification
he means
checklist?
we. That's actually a legitimate question.
Sir, showing you this item, do you recognize that?
Well, with that definition, you have
Yes.
to go over
And
his
is
full
that part of the crime
testimony.
scene identification
Again.
checklist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe that's why he was on the stand for 8 days. Jesus.
3 more minutes to the end of this video. Whew.
So painful. So painful. I was gonna start a
Hang
punk
in there
band
for
called.
3 more minutes.
I was gonna start a
Now,
punk band
on
called
that
Misdirected
document,
Anger once.
There's a question mark in the area that says, has the crime scene been altered? Did you see that?
It's got a funny
yes.
story.
One, please.
Chat.
Now, did you put that question mark there or did Miss Mazzola?
Miss Mazzola did.
Oh, good. Put a
Did you
question
know-
mark.
Whether the crime scene had been altered before you arrived?
Okay, now I believe this is in respect to the questions that were asked on cross-examination, where they got Fung to admit that I believe it was the glove, an important piece of evidence had been picked up, moved somewhere else, and then put back in the approximately same location. So that actually happened. I believe it was with the glove. They moved the glove somewhere to take photos of it or do something, and then they put it back in a sort of similar place. So I think that's where we're going with this. The crime scene had been altered before you got there thing.
I assumed it had because the body was
Oh, that's what it was. They had to move some of the evidence so they could drag the body through the crime scene. And then they put the other pieces of evidence back approximately where they were before they drug the body through the crime scene.
Oh God, that does not sound proper. I mean,
no.
Well, but considering what we know about this entire investigation, nothing was proper.
Why put it back? Because they shouldn't have moved it in the first place.
Nicole Brown Simpson was on the plastic when I walked up to the scene.
Okay, and you assume that when she was murdered, it wasn't on that coroner's plastic
Yes.
bag. Now, is it your job as a criminalist to start interviewing witnesses for the purposes of determining what the crime scene was like when they arrived?
No.
Whose job is that?
That is the investigating officer's job. That's detectives.
All right. Now, when the crime scene identification checklist was being filled out, the portion that lists the that's fine. The portion that lists the item numbers or the photograph numbers and the measurements.
Yes.
Did you do that, or did Ms. Mazzola do it, or was it a combination of both at this location?
It was a combination of both, but she did the majority of it.
Of the handwriting?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When that was being done, when you were doing the measurements, were you working together?
Yes.
And were those parts of the crime scene identification checklist relating to the measurements and the item numbers
Who
filled
gives a
out
shit?
as
How
you
does
were
this help
investigating
you?
the crime scene?
Yes.
I'm just flummoxed at how Goldberg thinks he's rehabilitating Fung at all.
Well, thankfully, we've only got one more minute left on this video. Then we can have a little palate cleanser conversation and then launch into the next video in which Johnny Cochran and Barry Scheck make return appearances.
Oh, thank God.
But it'll still only be Goldberg today. Maybe a little Cochran at the end. We all need a little Cochran
Now,
in
I'd
the
like
end.
to ask you
As a
about
treat.
the rear gate stain that you recovered on July the 3rd of 1994.
Yes.
Sir, do you know, did you see that stain from your own independent recollection on the 13th?
I don't recall seeing it on the 13th.
Okay. And is it your understanding of the people's position that the stain was there on the 13th?
It's a stain.
Can I be heard, Your Honor? Because
No.
it goes
Shut
to
up.
state of mind.
A New York
Sidebar,
state
thank
of
you.
mind? I don't think so. Oh, thank God. We get a little palate cleanser here. Whew. All right. I swear to God, we are approaching the end of Goldberg's redirect. We're either going to get through most of it or all of it plus a little Cochran at the end here, but most likely we'll be with Goldberg for the rest of the stream. But hey, we're entertaining, so stick around. We've still got 207 of you that are hanging on, that are just funging around here with us and hanging on to the bitter end. How you doing, Chandler?
I'm doing okay. I kind
Good.
of want to be doing what Strawberry's doing right now. Strawberry is definitely my spirit animal at this moment.
She's had her time in the sun. Now we're gonna turn it over to Yoda Cam.
The dogs are reflecting exactly my feelings about how thrilling this this redirect is.
It's not the most effective I've ever seen. That's for sure.
It's not.
All right, let's zoom in on Yoda here.
It's frustrating seeing bad lawyering. I like watching good lawyering. If I'm ever going to become a lawyer, I'd like to get...
Well, you have to watch the bad to appreciate the good. I think
what not to do. That's true.
Yeah, you have to understand. If you only see the good, you don't know that it's good. You have to see the bad to appreciate the good.
That's fair. Well, at least I understand that it's bad redirect, so I mean, maybe I'm a little bit ahead there.
Let's go. Brandon says, I have a hard problem here. That mustache is really fantastic. Just absolutely gorgeous.
It's true. It looks so good
Hello,
today.
Sailor. Thank you.
You do have an excellent
Chandler.
mustache.
When are you going to put out more live streams?
Today. I have a live stream today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And Max Schmidt asks a question. Legal vices. When you began with the OJ stuff, you had probably a guess as to how long it will go. And if so, How much are you already over that? Just wondering. Also greets to Chandler. Oh no, that's exactly why we're doing this. And if you go back to some of the early streams, I joke about the fact we could literally do this until the end of time. I specifically did this. We're doing the stuff that I want to do first. And when we're done with all of the stuff I want to do, we're going to go back and we're just going to watch this shit. I mean, this was, give it 8-hour days for, I think it was 256 days, something like that. So if you chop it up into 2-hour segments, that's 4 segments. That's 1 month per day. So we could literally be doing this for 20 years or something like that. Lawyers can't do math, but
at least until I finish law school. Yeah.
We can do a lot longer than that. This would go forever. So this is potentially forever. And Joe Choi says, no word of a lie. I had a band named after me. They were shit, but still. I know I've told it before on my stream. The band that I was part of for a very, very short time was a fusion jazz band. I was supposed to play rhythm guitar. We never actually got to perform anywhere other than the storage shed that we used for a rehearsal place. It was me, my friend Carl, and I think the drummer's name was Jeff too, if memory serves me right. So he had lead guitar, rhythm guitar, me, and I vaguely remember the keyboard guy existing. Don't remember his name or even what he looked like all these years later. But in Logan, Utah, they had these concerts in the park series where you could just sign up to have your band play at this concert in the park series in Merlin Olsen Park, because Merlin Olsen of Los Angeles Rams and Little House on the Prairie fame, and what was the other Michael Landon show? Father Murphy, was that what it was? What was that? Anyway, Merlin Olsen, who is from my hometown, his mother owned the miniature golf place there in Logan, Utah. But yeah, we had this concert in the park series in Merlin Olsen Park. Our band signed up, and we were all kind of irreverent, so we thought that we would we'd give our fusion jazz band. I mean, it was just like light fusion jazz band, the things. Anyway, and we thought we'd give it a name that would offend everybody, but still be a good band.
What was it?
Satan's Little Fuck Buddies.
That's great. I love that.
They didn't, so we never got to be on the billing. We submitted our fusion jazz band with the name Satan's Little Fuck Buddies.
Oh, Jeff, what I would give to go back in time and watch you perform in Satan's
Highway to Heaven. That was the other show with Merlin Olsen, right? But Satan's Little Fuck Buddies never got to play our fusion jazz because we apparently offended the organizers, which was not what we had hoped to do it, but not so much they wouldn't let us play. We thought they would see the irony and the humor in it. They didn't. So there we go. That's my band story. I was once for a brief week and a half period a member of Satan's Little Fuck Buddies, a fusion jazz band. All right, that palate cleanser out of the way.
Really good.
We thought it was funny. I think
it's funny.
Yeah, it's a good story.
It's certainly clever, and it's certainly offensive. I mean, especially, if you come from a Mormon background, it's very rebellious and punk of you. So I approve.
Oh, the good old days. But the fact, that's the thing. The fact there was just a light fusion jazz band called Satan's Little Fuck Buddies made it even funnier than just the name. And I wasn't drinking at that point, but literally everybody else in the band was. And it was sort of a devolution of, okay, what can we name our band that'll offend people? And then it just no, that's not nearly offensive enough. And it just sort of devolved until someone threw out that name. And we thought, hey, that's great.
It's quite good. Surfing Bird says you guys should do a reunion tour. I agree.
Yeah, I haven't seen, I think drummer Jeff is actually dead. Carl, I haven't seen Carl for a while. I haven't seen Carl for back in the pre-COVID era. Anyway, if you ever happen to see this, Carl, love you, bro. Apparently don't love you enough to actually talk to you for 5 years, but I love you. You know what I mean? All right, let's share our screen. Let's get back into this. Make sure you subscribe to I just about called you Chandler Halderson again.
Yeah,
Damn
I know.
it.
You were. I knew you were gonna do it. I saw the look on your face. You were like,
No, it's that Tourette's thing. Like, they know they're not supposed to say it, and then they worry about saying it, and then they try not to say it so much it triggers them into the tics. That's how I am now.
as long as it's not Chandler Bing, I'm happy.
Yeah, you're probably sure you never heard that one before, huh?
Or Chandler Bong. Oh God, now I'm telling everybody what my pet peeves are.
Yeah, your triggers are. But yeah, so I sorry about that. Make sure you subscribe to Chandler Remington.
Please do. I mean, if you feel like it.
Remy_legal. And me, John Denver, alive? Nah, unfortunately he died in his little plane crash. But as I've mentioned, John Denver was my 4th grade teacher's cousin.
No kidding.
Yeah, not only was my 4th grade teacher John Denver's cousin and my 4th grade teacher, she was also the elementary school music teacher. So we got to learn the lyrics to every single John Denver song ever written in 4th grade.
That's quite something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, JKD Buck.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna say I'm not reading that JKD. Married guy with the last name Steele. It'll be cool. Yeah, never heard that one either. But
Chandler Rembongton. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's stop funging around and get back to the street.
So we can get through Goldberg and get on with our lives.
Right.
Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Oh, volume down.
Sir, did you ever?
Not that far down.
Did you ever at any time even consider changing your testimony to say that you did see it on the 13th?
No.
To help the people?
No.
All right.
What are we talking about? We missed something.
I'd just like to ask a couple more questions about the collection process of the blood at Bundy. When you were observing Miss Mazzola, was she changing gloves in between samples?
Was she changing?
I don't recall her changing gloves on purpose between every sample.
Oh my God, why
is that something that
are both of them talking like William Shatner? It's driving me crazy.
It's required?
No, it's not.
Very good
Now,
question.
sir, have you read a number of authors in the area of criminalistics on the subject of collection of blood?
I've read some, yes.
I don't read.
And did you look at the materials that were written by Dr. Henry Lee, a leading advocate of using DNA technology in criminal cases?
Sustain. Rephrase the question, please.
Did you read the materials that Dr. Lee wrote for the Federal Bureau of Investigation?
Certain portions
Department
of
of Justice. And is he a leading advocate of using DNA technology to your knowledge?
Objection. Sustain.
I didn't.
Why are you doing this? Why? Excuse me while I sneeze here, maybe. Nope, I guess not. Why are they doing this? Here he's calling. Have you read Dr. Henry Lee's book? Have you read his papers he wrote for the FBI? Are you aware he's this great expert? When he is a witness, an expert witness for the defense. They are just setting him up. They're just telling the jury. He consults with the FBI. He writes papers. He's well respected. Even Dennis Fung reads his stuff and follows him. Why are they doing this? This is so dumb.
I don't know how does it rehabilitate Fung? How does it rehabilitate his poor testimony? How does it rehabilitate his use of I and we interchangeably? It does not.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
It doesn't do that. Plus, it's just telling the jury, hey, this defense expert you're going to hear from is one that basically wrote all the Bibles for this sort of stuff, for blood splatter and DNA and et cetera, et cetera.
I feel like they're just killing time.
Okay.
And move to strike.
It's hearsay.
And it's
rephrase the question.
Okay. Is he considered to be a leading forensic expert?
AP has the answer because the prosecution's
stupid.
stupid.
Does he say in his materials that you have to change gloves between samples?
He doesn't mention that.
Do you have to be told to change gloves between samples? Well, I guess you did back then, apparently.
That's so embarrassing. Jesus.
Because someone didn't think there would be someone stupid enough to not change gloves between samples, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, it led to sweeping
Did
changes,
you
but
also-
not for Murdoch.
Yeah.
So read Mr. Saperstein's or Dr. Saperstein's book, the portions of his book dealing with collection of biological evidence stains.
Portions of it, yes.
And you said that your interpretation of Dr. Saperstein was that you could not use plastic as a final packaging material. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you could use it as an intermediate one to transport to the lab.
Yes.
How do you know that? Why do you believe that that interpretation is correct?
And see, all of this centers around them showing in the manual and apparently this really important textbook that said you should avoid using clear plastic bags if at all possible.
Saw an interview of
when storing wet items.
All right, move to strike. Sustain.
May we approach?
Yes, with the court
Thank
reporter. Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Does Saperstein say anything, his book, about what you're supposed to use if you collect a wet stain on a wet cotton swatch, what you are supposed to use to get it from the location to the laboratory?
You're not supposed to use
not in that book, no.
sealed clear
And does
plastic bag.
Dr. Lee in his handout talk about that?
No.
Did you also read Lee, Ganslin, and DeForest, their work and the sections pertaining to collection of biological stains?
Portions of it, yes.
And did they advocate, or did they specifically say how you get the wet stain from the scene to the laboratory?
Object on the grounds that if he's asking him for about a specific section of the text, he should refer to it.
Well, it was
Just
already
as in
cross-examined.
cross-examination, he was referred to the specific
Yes.
sections.
Do you want to tell us which portion of that work?
It was the section already cross-examined on.
All right.
You-
We need the reference for the record, counsel. Mr. Sheck, do you happen to know what chapter?
Say, I'm not helping them. Why should I help them?
It's starts on page 244. It's the section entitled Collection, Preservation, and Packaging.
Fine, thank you. Just so the record's clear. Proceed.
Let me just approach the witness just so he knows what we're talking about specifically.
Are you
Well,
okay? Do you need a tissue?
He's lost like 15 pounds in the last 5 days.
Now, sir, does
Looks like a war prisoner.
Dr. DeForest, Ganslin, or Lee, do they say specifically how you get a wet swatch from the crime scene to the laboratory?
I don't recall reading it in that passage, no.
Or talk about changing gloves in between samples?
No.
Now, in Dr. Lee's handout that he did for the Department of Justice, does he talk about using clean implements? Well, let me ask you another question first. Is a distinction drawn between clean and sterile in the forensic community?
Yes.
And what does that distinction entail?
Sterile is free of
sperm,
any type of germs or bacteria. It's it's been sterilized. I mean, that's the only explanation I can come up with it.
And what does clean mean?
Clean
as opposed
means
to sterile.
It's free of dirt, but it hasn't been, all the bacteria and other germs or whatever aren't killed on whatever's supposed to be clean.
And in terms of the implements that are used for purposes of collecting dry stains, does Dr. Lee say that you need to use clean or sterile instruments?
He says clean.
Mr. Fung, do you have to be told to wear clean underwear every day? Mr. Fung, do you have to be reminded to breathe properly? This whole using the defense witness, as books or whatnot to tell Fung what he should or should not do. And, what I would just do on cross-examination is say what I just basically did. Do you have to be reminded to wipe your ass after you take a shit in the morning, Mr. Fung? Some things are just too dumb and stupid to have to put in writing. But, whatever. Ugh.
Now, do any of these reference works that you've consulted
He's starting to sound more like
indicate that
Kermit the
degraded
Frog
blood
as his questioning
will
goes on.
turn or can turn
I hear
into
it.
the suspect's blood?
Mr. Fung, are you in fact sterile?
Citations. This is very misleading. Redirect.
None of them do, no.
And do any of the reference works that you've consulted indicate that bacterial growth can cause blood to change into the defendant's blood or the suspect's blood?
What?
No.
Fuck
I'm
off.
sorry, what did he just ask?
Can fungus change the victim's blood to the defendant's blood or some dumb shitty question like that?
What? Are you kidding me? Side note, the funny thing about him sounding like Kermit the Frog is, how I did like the, about what's it called, the, letting the days go by kind of thing. There's actually a video of Kermit the Frog doing that. How did I get here? You have to watch it. I'll link it in the chat if you guys want. It's kind of hilarious. Anyway, moving on.
Mr.
Now,
Fung.
you were asked about Section 52520 of the Los Angeles Police
In the
Department
year
manual
25,
dealing with
25.
packaging of biological evidence. Do you
If
recall
Dennis
that?
Fung is still alive.
Yes.
Hi ho, Goldberg the Frog here.
I can't stop hearing it now.
Proceed.
I remember being asked about the manual, but I don't recall exactly what that section says.
What? And Whiskey 77 says, I just got back from the future. I was in the year 2072. Great news. We made it to part 47 today. Lamau, love you, boomer. Now I'm just using up letters.
Into this. What is the Los Angeles Police Department manual for? Is it for criminalists or for police officers?
It's meant mainly for police officers.
And did you look at the sections dealing with booking of samples of blood, for example, in preparation for your testimony?
Yes.
And are those sections ones that the criminalists are passed out to the criminalists for you to follow, or is that for police officers?
The manual has areas that deal with all the department personnel. However, those sections are geared towards the police officers.
Okay. Now, I'd like to approach the witness, Your Honor, if I may, and just show him 52520. It's on page 367
In the year
of 1992.
52520.
All right, Mr. Sheck, you have that.
Mr. Sheck has.
Oh, and again, we're being asked here in chat what the origin of Kim K or Robert's role in this. Robert's role is to sit right here behind the Elmo and to bill OJ for doing so.
He didn't really
I
do
think
much
he
in this trial,
actually-
did he?
I think he actually asked a few questions of a couple of witnesses, if I recall correctly. But
really?
he was there to talk OJ out of taking his own life during the Bronco chase. He was there.
Juice, don't do it. Don't do it, Juice.
Yeah. Just think of our daughter. Yeah, moving right along.
Jesus, Jeff. Again with the Chloe stuff. You're never going to get off that, are you?
Well, anyway, I was speaking of getting off somebody. Anyway, don't do it, OJ.
Right, proceed. Thank you.
Where was Robert Kardashian? This is Robert Kardashian right there, behind the Elmo. If you can see my little mini cursor over here. You can't even see my cursor, can you? He's like right here.
It's tiny. I can see.
Yeah.
Hey, phrasing!
Anyway, this is him next to, between Goldberg and the lawyer of color. He's here behind the machinery.
Lawyer of color.
You may.
Sir, I'm showing you this page out of the manual. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay. And does that provide that, and under the title Preserving Wet Stains, items containing wet blood, semen, or chemical stains shall be permitted to dry at room temperature before packaging. Plastic containers or plastic wraps shall not be used as a packaging material. Is that what it provides?
Yes.
And does that mean that, is that talking about final packaging or
See, this is the thing. This is the shitty thing, and I want to see how he answers this, because this was the whole deal. It says shall not be used for packaging. And that was SHECK's contention. It says shall not be used for packaging. It doesn't say temporary or permanent. It just says should not be used for packaging. You should not put wet evidence into plastic packaging. And now he's actually asking Fung about this. So I want to hear this answer, because this answer, anything other than it doesn't differentiate between final packaging and temporary packaging. So therefore it should never be used. Anything other than that is a stupid answer, as far as I'm concerned.
items containing wet blood, semen, or chemical stains shall be permitted to dry at room temperature before packaging. Plastic containers or plastic wraps shall not be used as a packaging material. Is that what it provides?
Yes.
And does that mean that, is that talking about final packaging or interim packaging?
Sustain. Rephrase the question.
What kind of packaging is that talking about?
X speak for itself. I believe they be put into evidence.
Oh, see, that's
My
bad.
interpretation is that it's for final packaging.
That's not your fucking interpretation. I am fully on with BARRY SCHECK on this. Let it stand. It says shall not be used for packaging. That doesn't ask for any interpretation. That doesn't say, please interpret whether this means final packaging or temporary packaging or transportational packaging. It says shall not be used for packaging. I am fully with BARRY SCHECK. That should just be entered into evidence, and the jury should be able to read it and come to their own goddamn conclusions.
What Jeff said.
This whole, what is your interpretation of I? Oh, by I mean we. What is your interpretation of packaging? If they would have meant final packaging, they would have said final packaging, as far as I'm concerned.
Agreed.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm letting Goldberg get to me, but it's.
I love a good Vices rant, doesn't everybody?
Well, yeah. We had to give the fans something. Are you not entertained?
After they've been dried?
Yes.
And after the stains were dried, in this case, what kind of packaging were they placed in by you and Criminalist Mazzola?
They were placed in paper.
Now, would there be any problems that would result if you placed the wet stains in paper at the scene?
Yes.
What problems?
The swatches could leak through the paper and cross-contaminate each other.
Are there any dangers with putting wet things in sealed plastic
prevent
bags?
The problem of cross-contamination due to leakage?
Yes.
Yes, but does also placing it in a plastic bag, placing wet evidence in a plastic bag, sealed airtight, and put in the back of a dark blue criminology van in the Los Angeles June summer heat, instead of in the refrigerating unit that is literally inside the van right next to where you left it, is that problematic? I bet he's not going to ask that question.
Probably not.
Let's find out.
Now, I'd like to turn to the Rockingham location again, and specifically the blood drops that you located and collected along with criminalist Mazzola leading from the area of the Bronco up to the front door.
Yes.
Can you refer to your crime scene identification checklist and tell us how many stains there were and the distance between them?
10 more minutes, people. Oh, wow. We've had that up for a long time. Yeah.
I can give you rough distances.
He likes it
Hold on a
rough.
second.
Cuts like a knife. Oh, we've got more Fung. We've got at least another month or two of Fung. Don't worry.
Board as well, Mr.
You are in
Fairtlow will
luck.
put that up
All right.
while we're waiting.
Mr. Sheck, you have the page?
This channel is all Fung all the time. At least on Thursdays and sometimes Wednesdays.
Why don't you confer with Mr. Goldberg?
Yes.
Make sure you have.
What do you think Sheck said to him?
You're getting your ass kicked, aren't you? Just end it.
Sir, on the page
I was thinking more
you're
along
going
the
to
lines of you're
refer
an
to in order
effing
to
moron, but
provide
go
us with
on,
this
please. I'm enjoying
information,
this.
did you jot down some information as to the distances?
Yes.
How did you do that?
I made some rough calculations from my property reports.
Just adjusting my mustache.
So in other words, you took the information that was already in your property reports and you just did some calculations based on it?
Yes.
We don't have this page. That's,
Hold on.
Well, more problems?
perhaps it's just one page. Could we make a copy right now? That might
Goldberg.
assist us.
What?
How do you solve a
Any
problem
objection
like
to having a copy, both sides having a photocopy of these notes?
No, they're just notes that he's using to refresh his recollection.
All right. Just give me the copy. Give me a EZB. Thank you.
Do some work, woman. Bring me my copies. Mr. Fung, are you dazed and confused? Are you feeling unloved?
I'm certain he had PTSD from this after the
Call
trial.
1-800-GET-FUNGED.
Let Mr. Sheck step back so he's not blocking the witness.
I love how this whole testimony is so boring that you've taken note of how he has a strange, sort of structure in his ear.
He does. He has a
We're
weird
just
ear.
like nothing is happening.
So you can each have a copy.
Okay, here we see an hourglass. And Max Schmidt asked, for what is the sand clock next to the judge? It's not the only one. This is the overflow hourglass. If you look on the judge's right, there's a gigantic pile of them. And it just keeps getting bigger because somehow he let it be known that he liked hourglasses. So viewers of the trial started sending the judge hourglasses and he would pile them up on his desk. Yeah, it's weird, but that's what he did.
Well, he was a bit of a media whore.
Well, this was the beginning of the media whore part.
Yeah.
This was kind of like this is sort of where it started to take off.
Sir, just to clarify the record on what you're looking.
Hand that to Mr. Goldberg.
Oh, thank you. I'm
And one
sorry.
copy to Mr. Sheck, please. Thank you. Proceed.
Just to clarify the record in terms of what you're looking at. This appears to be a little diagram. When was this diagram created?
In fourth
That
grade.
diagram was created at the Rockingham scene on June 13th.
Okay, and the diagram itself is part of your crime scene identification checklist?
Yes.
All right, so this is an old item over here, at least most of it.
Most of it is, yes.
Now, what about the new, is there some new stuff on here?
Yes.
What is the new stuff on here that Mr. Sheck needed a copy of?
There are some measurements that in between the items of evidence that I calculated and put down.
Okay, and did you do that just recently in order to be able to give us that testimony more efficiently when you testified?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell us, not counting the stain on the Bronco handle, how many stains were there?
There were 4 stains.
8 stains altogether.
Now, you have on your diagram and as well on the photos, some stains that are labeled A, B, and C. Is that correct?
Jessica Reloaded in the house. What's up, Jess?
Your custom and your practice to
Oh, hey,
take
Jess.
representative samples?
Yes.
In the case of a trail, what does that generally mean?
In the case of a trail, a representative sample would be one from the beginning, 1 or 2, depending on the length, from the middle, and 1 at the end of the trail.
Just like a human
In
centipede.
this particular case, did you and criminalist
Oh,
Mazzola
Jesus.
collect more stains than would customarily be done in this kind of a situation?
That's one movie I wish I
Yes.
could unsee.
Were there certain stains which you did not collect in conformity with the representative sample approach?
There were stains that I did not collect along this trail, yes.
Okay, which ones were those?
That would be the ones with letters on them, A, B, and C.
Okay. But you did cause those to be documented with photography?
Yes.
Now, can you give us the distance between the stains, starting with the ones that began in the area near where the Broncos parked?
The approximate distance from 4 to 5, which is, and 4 and 5 are depicted in photograph A. You can see the 2 cards.
All right, 795, can you see that?
Can we have the picture of that?
We have a bad angle for the jury here.
Your Honor, maybe we can move this over here.
All right.
Oh, see, now Leafy's got it right. Leafy Fifi food, it's the Berenstain Bears. It's not that Mandela effect where everybody remembers it's the Bernstein Bears. It's the Berenstain Bears. It's not spelled that way, but it's pronounced that way.
Right, because we it's like an alternate universe kind of thing. I think
Yeah.
it's just that everybody,
It's that
can't
Mandela
spell.
effect.
The Mandela
I thought
effect.
it was the Bernstein Bears until I was like 35, and
4 and
holy
5
shit.
is approximately 12 feet.
And what
It's a
about the
conspiracy
next
for sure.
4 in the next stain?
See, I like this this map.
Between
it looks
4 and the next stain are
surprisingly
5
like
and
this
6.
little Matchbox car carpet
Well, 4
that
and
I used
5.
to play with
Between
my
4
son
and
with.
5 is 12 feet.
And 5 and 6?
Between 5 and 6 is approximately 8 feet.
And where was A in relationship to 6?
6 was near A.
Unless you're talking about my
And it
stream,
was south
Tweety,
of
and then he's been testifying for about 4 months. You are correct. He was on the stand for 8.5
Marked,
days.
C on the screen.
I think this is day 6.
I don't know whether the resolution on that is
Something
good
like
enough.
that.
Mr. Fung, maybe you could take a look at the actual photograph and see whether you can tell us where 5, 6, and A are.
5 is in the foreground. 6 is to the upper left, and A is up to the upper right.
Okay. And now, Mr. Fung, the distance between 6 and B.
Oh, Jesus, who cares? Holy
The
shit.
distance between 6 and B is
My thoughts
roughly
exactly.
65 feet.
All right. Right here is a good time to end. We are 2 hours into the show. Chandler has a hard exit. She's got things to do. It's midnight. It's time for me to sleep. But we are at the 20-minute and 48-second mark. Just for giggles, let's skip ahead here. Let's see. I think right about now. Let's see.
Contaminate.
No.
Did you do anything?
No.
Is simply a hypothetical.
Okay. So after they get done arguing, it's Barry Scheck's turn. Right. So about an hour into next week's stream, we will get back to Barry Scheck.
Okay,
so
God.
hang tight, everyone.
We can do it.
We'll be back to Barry Scheck about an hour into next week's OJ Simpson stream. So
I truly look forward to it.
Phew, I swear to God, salvation is on the horizon.
We're close. We're getting there.
Thanks
for bearing with us, everybody.
Phew. All right,
we have to watch it, because if we don't watch it, then we won't know how SHECK destroys them when he comes back. You have to have precedent for that.
Right. First of all, his recross is going to be limited to what's brought up on redirect. So we have to hear what's being brought up on redirect so that we know why he's asking the recross questions. Exactly. And also, like you said, we won't have any context for why he's being crushed. And plus, it's just fun to watch him, both lawyer and client, think about simple sentences.
God, it's just the pauses and you can't fast forward. Ugh. I mean, it's awful.
But holy crap, we got through another episode.
We did
of OJ. And we have a request from Nicholas Starr of Trial Watch to feed our stream, to direct our stream to Mo in the Deep End.
Oh, Mo's great.
I don't know who or what that means.
Mo is on MLS Law, and she joined him for the Letitia Stout trial. She's really funny, and she's been joining him recently for a different trial. Mo's really cool. I think she was in chat earlier.
Oh, hi Mo in chat earlier. Let's see. I will see if we can do that. We will redirect over to a new stream that I know nothing about. So, Mo in the Deep End. Nope, can't do it. Apparently, something is wrong. She must not have her thing activated. But let's see who is live right now. We have Law of Self-Defense and Kurt. Where should we go, Chandler? Should we go to Kurt or Law of Self-Defense?
Good question. I don't want either lawtuber to be mad at me for saying one or the other, but I would vote Law of Self-Defense.
All right, that's what we're gonna do. It's all on you. Sorry, Mo, we can't get to you for some reason, so we're gonna go to Law of Self-Defense, Andrew Branca. Chandler, give us your final end of stream grift.
Sure. I'm Chandler Remington. I'm a California paralegal, if you don't already know me. I've been streaming recently, and I'm going to be streaming today with MLS Law. We are covering the Sarah Boone trial. It's going to be starting July 26th, and I recently did a video where I did a case overview. So today we're going to be watching the Axon body cam footage live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That should be a lot of fun. We're going to do Sarah Boone Wednesdays. And that case is a total trip. If you don't know anything about it, go to my channel, check out my video, and subscribe to me and MLS Law, too, because he's awesome.
All right. Do that. But most importantly, subscribe to Chandler. And hit the like button here. Who won the poll today? The winner of the poll today is like and subscribe, because 36% of you said, Fung, till Daddy took the T-Bird away. And in last place was Shock the Funky. That's what I thought it would be. All right. That's out of the way. I'm Legal Vices. This is my stream today and as every week we do for OJ Simpson, Chandler Remington is my super awesome, wonderful, amazing co-host. And tomorrow will be Danny on Direct. Do not miss it. Friday will be Steph the Alter Nerd. You won't want to miss that either. And approximately 23 hours from now, it'll be 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow morning, I will be on Nina Infinity's show. So if you want to catch me there, make sure you check me out on Nina Infinity. We'll be there. So that'll take us through the weekend. And next week we have a lineup already scheduled for next week, just in case you're wondering. Monday, Maritime Monday. Tuesday, Lumber Law Rob. Wednesday, I'm going to do an update on all of the outstanding cases, find out when the next hearings are, where we are with each of the kind of outstanding cases that I have in my head. And then Thursday will be OJ, and Friday will be Drex. And that will take us through the end of June.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to Danny and Steph especially. You've got some great ladies on for the rest of the week.
It's Ladies Week. This week is Ladies Week. All right, everybody.
I love it.
Hey, folks. Chandler, thank you so much for joining. As always, every OJ, you are here. It's time to groom the stash here. All right.
Thank you so much for making me co-host. I'm always happy to be here. I'm
awesome,
honored.
man. We've got Doggo Cam. So thank you very much for unleashing Doggo Cam. Mods, thank you so much. Chat is the best chat. Legal Vices chat always is awesome. And the Vice Squad can't do without you. The generous super chatters. Thank you, everybody. We will see you over on Law of Self-Defense. Make sure he knows that it's a Legal Vices raid. Tell him hi. Legal Vices sent you, and Chandler Remington sent you. Until we see you tomorrow, either on Nina Infinity stream in the evening, your time. Okay, it'd be 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, not a.m. It'd be 11:30 a.m. my time. So 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be on Nina Infinity, and then we will start our show with Danny on Direct. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9 a.m. Eastern U.S. See you tomorrow. Until we meet again, Larax is out. Chandler Remington, give us a good old goodbye, and tell Andrew Branca, Legal Vices raid is happening.
Goodbye, everybody. See you on Law of Self-Defense.
See you later, folks.